All right, so this message is specifically meant for my daughters, and if others witness it, that's okay. But, here in heaven, wherever they need it, to my older two daughters, you will never know the pain I lived with, that I saw every day without you. The only thing that mattered to me was my children. And when they took them, I didn't know what to do. I was poor. I had very little. And, their families could provide them a life that I couldn't, stuff that I couldn't. And, I didn't have, the opportunity to ask them as adults, like, where would you rather be, with your mom who's dirt poor and has, very little, or, with the family that you were with? And I'm sure there's a lot of women that have given their children up for adoption that could relate. Like, I didn't give my children away. Like, I fought for them. But at the same time, like, when I could have tried to get them back, I didn't want to disturb their life and where they were. So by the time I, could have got myself medically stable, they were gone. And, I used substances for a long time because it hurt so bad. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I was weak. I'm sorry that I wasn't there. But I would never, ever have children in a world that I couldn't keep, that I didn't get to raise by choice. So I'm either in somebody else's existence that wrote us into creation, born somewhere else. But, what I do now, like, all I can show is, like, what I've done for Ella. Like, Chris gave me an opportunity to, stop and change my life. And we had a baby together, and his mom didn't have any grandchildren, and she was, close to death. So, I wanted her to have a grandchild. I didn't want her to take my child, So, the past few years, everything that I've gone through in the courts to fight for my children, has grown to fight for other children who, weren't loved right. Like, I'm sorry that I didn't get to be the mom that you guys deserve. I'm sorry that, somebody else came along and decided to make a decision for our family like they knew better. Like, they were going to make the best decision because I was not capable of making them. I never used drugs in front of my children. I never used drugs with my children, ever. None of them. My middle daughter was given marijuana by somebody that I was working with. I told him I didn't agree with that I didn't want to be a part of it. And if he did it, I didn't want to know about it because, she was already smoking with her friends. So, I wasn't a part of it. I didn't do it, and I don't agree with it. But if you're going to do something, I'd rather be a part of it than you lie to me about it. So if you want to try something, and no matter what you're going to do it, just be honest with me. So, my daughter, I got called by DCF. I was told to go and fight for her in court, that they no longer are trying to keep her from me based on the grounds of mental instability, that, I am mentally stable. I was asked if I would be willing to support my children. Yes. Am I willing to support my grandchildren? Yes, if I have money. I'm working on making a message on social media because I'm not left with any other options. I can go get a job, but I can keep it for 3 or 4 months until I complete the training and I'm on to the next job. I left Burger King, but I left Burger King on good terms. I left Burger King because of the behavior of one of their staff who sent me a message telling me that I was fired. and they were trying to take breaks away from the people that I worked with. I left Denny's because the people I worked with didn't want to follow directions and not break rules according to like health code. Like, I don't break any rules, girls. Like, I don't live my life, like I make mistakes sometimes, and sometimes I do things that are, questionable, like, that could get me in trouble. Like, who doesn't? Like, who can show me one person on this planet that's never broken a rule, never passed judgment on somebody else? Like, we are imperfect while we are here. But to my daughters, I love you. And if you see me fight for Ella and get to see Ella, know that I would have done the same thing for you if I had been given an opportunity. How am I supposed to get my children back when they say I'm medically unstable? I cannot take away the fact that I have Crohn's disease. And I'm susceptible to other people's germs. So, I've got kids that go to school, that come home and bring germs to me, and I get sick. And I go in the hospital for a month at a time. Like, I can't change that. Like, that's my truth. Like, they said that my mother was not somebody who was stable, but at this point my daughter is getting visitation with my mom, who's been found mentally disabled through a court. So who's the one that's really supervising? I'm mentally stable in a court. My mom's mentally unstable and on disability for being unstable. So to my children, I love your Nana. I love your fathers. And, I'm sorry. Like, this is just where we came from. Like, it's been hell for me. But you're never going to say my mom didn't love me. My mom didn't do this. And when they took my children in the same day that I went to court, that I walked out of that courtroom and straight into a hood and was, given drugs that I was told were something else. I was forced into human trafficking, and then I was sold as a sex slave. Do you think that these are things that I did because I wanted to? Or did I go to see the worst of the worst? Because if they were willing to take my children because of medical reasons, I was going to find out what there was out there, so that when my children were of age to start, functioning in the world on their own, they had their mother to testify. Don't fucking do that shit. I've already done it for us. Don't fucking touch it. Don't go into no fucking hoods. Don't go do no fucking drugs. Don't go fucking sell your bodies. I will fucking judge you for it. Because I did it so you didn't have to, so I could testify before you. So I hope you find this now. And if not, I'm there in heaven for you. And I love you girls forever.